Is there anything in your career that you think should be missed?
Oh my, yes. Anyone who saw me at Harrah's on the Strip in 2000, apologies all around. I think I began to cry halfway through my set. I got teary-eyed, and this guy goes, "You're doing okay." And that's when I realized I am not doing okay.
Hello, I'm Kevin Fallon, and this is Obsessed the podcast, where we guide you through all the TV shows, movies, and celebrity nonsense that we think is unmissable and that we're obsessed with. And I'm coming to you today again from Park City, Utah, where the Sundance Film Festival is happening. And I am being joined today by one of my favorite colleagues, the Daily Beast's chief critic, and I must say, award-winning critic. He is been named the best film critic of the year by the LA Press Club. And we're going to dive through everything we saw at Sundance. It's been an exhausting few days, a very fun few days. We've seen lots of celebs, lots of good movies, lots of not so good movies. And then we're going to have a really fun interview that Matt Wilstein conducted with the stand-up comedian and actress Maria Bamford, who has a new, very buzzy documentary here at Sundance. It's called Paralyzed by Hope, the Maria Bamford story. It's produced by Judd Apatow. I've loved Maria for years. I remember watching her on Last Comic Standing, my God, decades ago. And it's been so much fun to watch her become this very popular, but also very interesting, unique, introspective, very candid comedian. So Matt, we'll get into all that with her. But right now, I'm going to talk to my roomie because Nick and I have been sharing a condo for the last few days. Hi, Nick.
Hey, how are you, Kevin? I haven't seen you in a few minutes here in our condo. We've been really rooming together for this final Sundance here at Park City.
I know for purposes of recording and sound and all of that, we're in different rooms, but we have been living together here. And I think it's been a pretty good situation. We haven't had any issues with people not putting their dishes away or, coming in late and loud. I think the only thing ran into is you nearly burned down the condo the first day with the coffee machine.
Yeah, you have to remember when you're at a condo that you have to unplug the coffee machine. If you don't unplug it, you're asking for potential trouble. But I learned my lesson and we've had no incidents. And yeah, living together here at Sundance here has been great. The movies, but living together has been fun.
Yeah, it's been interesting because this is the last Sundance in Park City. For the last 40 years since Robert Redford launched this to celebrate indie filmmaking and give an outlet for the kind of filmmakers that are not being represented by the studio system, given opportunities by the studio system. He started this as a way of spotlighting those films, but also making it this year-long incubator for that kind of talent to foster and grow and communicate with other people. It's been a really special festival for the last 40 years. And this is the last, it's not over. It's moving to Boulder, Colorado next year, but this was a big one because it was the last one in Park City.
Yeah, the one thing that I found surprising, given that it's been here for so long and it's such a part of the Park City fabric, is that they haven't gone out of their way to really highlight and celebrate the end of this era. They've done a lot when it comes to Robert Redford himself, but when it comes to having, sort of a final big hurrah and a big farewell for being in Park City and in the community and at these theaters and with these volunteers who've been working at the festival for so many years, it's been rather muted, which I guess I expected it to be a bigger deal. And so as a result, it's felt a little strange, a little muted when it comes to that, which I don't know. I mean, maybe they don't want to highlight that, we're abandoning Utah after all these years. And but it'll be interesting as the festival shifts, how the tone of it, changes because it has been so closely associated with this community.
Yeah, and it's a really interesting experience being here in Park City because there's this really interesting tension between the glamour and the glitz and the very wealthy Tony Posh, Sundance goers, and how we experience Sundance as, the plebeian film critics and journalists. because there's this beautiful main street that looks like it's basically taken from a snow globe that during Sundance is taken over by all these companies that have these lounges and activations and club nights and all that, where the celebrities go and the socialites go. And when you're walking down Main Street, you really do just run into every person who's promoting a movie here because they're popping in and out of all those studios. And that's really fun and exciting. And then you have the experience of watching the movies, which I don't think people understand, that these big fancy Sundance premieres where Jennifer Lopez and Charlie XCX this year and all these major celebrities are going to are happening in a high school auditorium.
That's right. You're right. There is a real contrast there. I mean, just yesterday I had to avoid a filmmaker on the street whose film I had literally just reviewed not so kindly. And then, right, you're sitting in auditoriums, you're sitting in regular multiplex theaters that are overcrowded with people that you're fighting for seats for. And then on top of that, right, when you go to Main Street, it looks like the Sundance people see on the news. This very beautiful, very picturesque, very fun atmosphere, which for the most part, we don't experience at all. We're just walking from one movie theater to another, which is its own fun, but it is definitely a different experience than I think people get from seeing news reports from here.
Yeah, they don't show me shivering on a sidewalk in line outside, because you have to stand outside in line before you get into these things in Park City, where it's, wind chill of 0 degrees before you walk into the high school to watch these movies. It's a very surreal experience. But I think what's really important about Sundance and for people to remember is that while we're talking about all these movies that maybe you won't get to see for a few months, Sundance has launched some of the most influential, most important movies that sort of provide the backdrop to a lot of our lifetimes. I mean, we're talking movies like Sex, Lies, and Videotape, and Reservoir Dogs, and Blair Witch Project, and Memento, and Little Miss Sunshine, and Boyhood, and my favorite, I'll never forget sitting in the theater for the first time watching Call Me By Your Name here at Sundance. It was one of the most important movie going experiences of my life, being in that premiere. So I'm very curious, Nick, what you think you've seen at this Sundance that could be something that we talk about throughout the year and be something that isn't just, a festival favorite, but something that everyone that's listening and watching us right now will want to check out.
It's funny, you're right that Sundance has launched so many big movies. And yet this year, I feel like it's been a little bit light on breakout films. I do think there are a couple that people are going to wind up seeing and talking about in the future. In particular, the film that is currently having a big bidding war over it, which is The Invite, Olivia Wilde's new directorial film, in which she stars with Seth Rogen, Ed Norton, and Penelope Cruz. I think that one has real breakout potential. I don't know if it's as great as some of those movies that you just mentioned.
Might not be as great as Call Me By Your Name, but I think it's a legitimately great film. It's a very boring thing to see something in January and be like, I think it could get an Oscar. But I really do think this is one of the movies that could go from Sundance to an Oscar stage in 2027, because Olivia Wilde is so good in it. That script, it's fantastic. It's so funny. It's Seth Rogen's best acting performance I've ever seen. And Penelope Cruz is giving this batshit fun, sexy, weird, enigmatic performance. I could see her also getting acting consideration. So I think that this is a movie where a bidding war is very much justified.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that it also has the potential to get a real audience theatrically. Now, we don't know that it's going to get into theaters. It may very well wind up on Netflix, and then we'll be talking about it in a different way. But it is the one here that has the mixture of big critical support and stars. The other films that have been talked about a lot, in particular, something like Josephine, which is an indie drama that has a phenomenal breakout performance by its young 8-year-old star, Mason Reeves. I think it has some potential to garner critical acclaim. It does have Channing Tatum and Gemma Chan. I'm not sure, though, that it's going to sort of rise to the level that we're talking about in the coming months. That said, we're about to have the Oscars, and I believe almost all, if not all, of the documentary nominees premiered at Sundance last year. So Sundance also has the potential to make waves in the nonfiction realm. And the best film I saw here was A Knife, The Attempted Murder of Salman Rushdie, which I absolutely think is going to be a big documentary deal. So we'll see. I don't know if it's been as big a going out party in terms of the quality of movies as maybe prior years, but we're going to be talking about a number of these things in the coming months.
And while I venture that none of these movies will get nominated for an Oscar, but we have to talk about the fact that Charlie XCX, of all people, is now the queen of Sundance. She premiered 3 films here, 2 in one night. One that she is the bona fide star of. It's like this, it's called The Moment. She plays this sort of satirized version of herself in this sort of This Is Spinal Tap-esque documentary that examines, her feelings about ending the Brat era. That starts out quite funny, then becomes quite weird, but I still got the sense from just being here in Park City that it still is thought of as quite cool, which I think is a big Park City thing. Like maybe it's not about the Oscars, maybe it's not about the box office, but it's about the cool factor. And I think Charlie XCX, at the very least, earned that.
Yeah, no, I agree. The Moment was the biggest ticket in terms of glamour here at the festival this year. And Charlie was here, which definitely sort of, made it a bigger event. The fans were going crazy outside the theater. And I think the movie, which is about to come out in theaters, is going to play well with her fans for sure. The fact that she was in 2 additional films, that were not having her play herself, The Gallerist and I Want Your Sex, was sort of a surprising thing that we suddenly had Charlie XCX sort of everywhere on the screen. And look, I mean, she wants to break into acting. She's in 3 movies here that are wildly different films. And sometimes that's what, energizes a festival like this. It's just one person who seems to be sort of taking over the entire, week. And I think that's been fun, even if I don't necessarily think any of those movies are the ones in the long run we're going to be talking about.
Yeah. Well, Nick, so many things are ending this month. My dreams of Ariana Grande winning an Oscar ended this month. My pledge to do Dry January ended this month. And now our time at this festival has ended, and its time in Park City has ended. But I really, really appreciate you chatting with me about this. I've had a lot of fun being here with you.
Yeah, me too. We'll shed a tear, we'll have a drink, and we'll get ready for Boulder in 2027.
Exactly. All right. Well, thank you, Nick. And get ready for our obsessed guest, Maria Bamford, talking to Matt Wilstein. Here we go.
Maria Bamford, welcome to Obsessed, the podcast. I'm so happy to have you here.
Thank you for having me on, Matt. I really appreciate being on a pod.
Yeah, always. I'm speaking to you from Berkeley, California. So I'm very excited to be seeing you in just a few days at SF Sketchfest. I'm going to go to your show there on Friday, January 30th. I believe there are still some tickets available for people if anyone's in the area and wants to check it out.
Yeah, come on by. And thank you so much for coming out.
Well, I always love seeing you live, and I'm very excited for that. And I want to talk to you about your comedy, and I want to talk to you about your experience at Sundance, because I believe you just got back from Sundance, which seems like it was a whirlwind, but very fun. But the first question I want to ask you, since this is a podcast about the pop culture that we are all obsessed with, Maria, what was the first piece of pop culture that you remember being really obsessed with as a kid growing up?
I mean, TV in general. I think I love to. I don't. This probably wasn't functional like it was
Yeah.
a great relationship for me to have with myself and the world, but I would, yeah, coming home and from school and I watched a lot of like Three's Company.
Mhm.
Then they had the afternoon movie and and Happy Days,
Oh, yeah.
and so it was, yeah, this. I mean, I had to remember everything about those
Yeah.
shows.
It sticks with
I
you.
mean, I know too much, and and then when you learn more about how TV is made and all that, it's just interesting. It was sort of this whole fantasy world of where things were taken care of in a moment and nothing too horrible was happening.
Mhm.
Uh, and I was very depressed kid, and so I think it was something that was sort of like oh, a type of lithium that I could just tap into
Yeah.
in the late afternoons when it was very dark in Minnesota.
So let's talk about Sundance. You were just there premiering this new documentary, Paralyzed by Hope, that is, tells the story of your life, which I can imagine being a very surreal thing going and watching a movie about yourself with a crowd in Sunday at the Sundance Film Festival. So what was that experience like for you, Maria?
Well, yeah, super weird. It's one of those things you go, wow, didn't plan on this happening.
Yeah.
And what a great way to I've never been to a film festival, and I was like, "Well, this is the way
Yeah.
to go."
Being the star of the show.
It's, yeah, it was pretty couldn't have been better. I brought all my girlfriends with me, 'cause I was like, this is never to be, uh, surpassed. And so we went bird watching or, looked for celebrities is what I call it.
See anyone good?
Oh my gosh, we saw so many. We saw Natasha Lyonne, we saw, w I did not see it, but my friends saw Olivia Colman, Peter Dinklage, saw him, Alexander Skarsgård.
Yeah. Can't miss him. He's very tall.
He's very tall. I saw, okay, Chris Pine,
Mhm. Yeah.
and Jenny Slate. I mean, it yeah, but it was really I was so grateful. Judd,
Yeah, Judd
it
Apatow,
was
directed it and produced it and really I think it was really his idea to do this film about you.
yes,
I wanted to ask you why you decided to participate in this movie because the film opens with this scene of Judd arriving at your house with a camera and basically trying to convince you to do it. And you do seem a little bit resistant, a little bit reluctant at first. He brings $500
yes,
because he knows you like to get paid,
yes.
and I believe a banana as well. But what was it? What were you resistant to, and what was it that convinced you this was a worthy use of your time?
Part of it is the, ego on both sides of saying, I think people have heard this. This is a common thing to say, the piece of shit that the world revolves around. Like I am like nobody needs to hear about this on one side, and then like I do need some more eyes on this. Um, so I'm sure part of that it's that, and then cash. I love to get paid. Um, they agreed to pay me a certain amount for participating, because I I I am I am on some level introverted, and then I think, yeah, it's my job on some level to be public, so it's not as interesting to me to be filmed.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, personal life, I just go, yeah, I'm okay.
Yeah.
I've been filmed enough. I'm good, and yeah, so that's part of the getting paid thing was really nice, so that I felt like, okay, well, at least and it was fun. I mean, Neil and Judd are hilarious and, ridiculous, and was an honor to get to know them both a lot better, and, but I think it is that protective part. I don't know if you feel this about in show business,
Mhm.
but that there's a lot of, um, manic, "We love you," and then complete abandonment.
Yeah.
And so or disgust. And it's not personal. It definitely isn't personal. But like so trying to protect myself from that.
I mean, the thing that really comes through in this movie is how much you are adored by your comedy community. I mean, so I'm wondering how comfortable you are with that kind of adoration. I mean, your name keeps coming up. Comedians in the film and elsewhere, Stephen Colbert, Mark Maron, Patton Oswalt, I think all call you their favorite comedian. Ted Sarandos, who runs Netflix, calls your show Lady Dynamite his favorite Netflix original series that they've ever made. Um, I have to admit that I also have been known to call you my favorite comedian when people ask. Um, how do you take that all in? How do you feel about that?
It's the mood of a moment, you know? I think I feel o obviously, very chuffed and, pumped, and, uh and then, yeah, it passes, I'm sure it will pass, but I write it down in my journal, and I say, I have some nice things people have said, and I frame it. Um, but yeah, and yeah, I'm on a bunch of comedians text feeds,
Mhm.
and yeah, I'm gonna bomb sometime soon. Like I'm not gonna, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
I
you'll be
am
humbled in some way at some point.
for
Yeah.
sure, like just less than a mile from my house.
Yeah, I mean, there is sort of a flip side to all of this love coming your way, which is there also, I'm sure, are people who don't understand your comedy, who don't get it. They're you talk in the film about, and some of the people that are interviewed talk about how people used to come up to you and say, "Why don't you just use the normal voice you use on stage as your main voice?" Because you do a lot of voices on stage, and you do, these voices that to some people might sound more normal, but that would never occur to you, right? I mean, that kind of thing.
Well, yeah, 'cause not my voice, it's not my voice. My sister has the same voice as I do, so yeah. Also, I think that whole best, worst,
Mhm.
who's the thing, who's the not, that's a very human thing to that we have in ourselves, like, to go and also it's like a talking point of you can start discussing stuff with people going, "No, I do not think that." You know who I think? So it's kind of a way to by naming one thing, you can go, "Oh, well, have you ever seen this
Mhm.
because that just clearly isn't true. There's no at least in my opinion, I think there's no best, there's no worst. Um, there's uh there's a bunch of people out there doing a job, a craft, and doing it beautifully, um, in all sorts of ways. And yeah, doesn't I think yeah, I'm not a fan of award shows. Let's just say that. I
Yeah.
just think it's so arbitrary
Mhm.
and yeah, like I tried to watch one of the Academy Awards nominated movies,
Mhm.
and I won't say which one it was because it doesn't matter. Who cares what I think? But I could only make it to like a half hour. I was like, oh my Christ! Like,
Wasn't for you?
yeah, it just wasn't for me, and it doesn't mean anything
Yeah.
about whether it's great or bad. It's just yeah.
I did think it was, funny to see you on that list, which I'm sure you saw, that Billboard put out of the best comedians of the 21st century. You were number 9. You were the highest spot for any woman
Ludicrous.
on the list. You are behind people like Dave Chappelle and Chris Rock and Louis C.K. and all these men. And you were the, as I said, the highest woman up on the list at number 9. I'm curious, when you look at that, do you feel like you're even doing the same thing as those guys? Do you feel like you're in the same world? Like, how do you think about that?
I don't. I think it's just a trend.
Mhm.
It's not, and clearly not true. Like what? Like no, 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 no. That's just yeah. That's just not true. Um. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it seems like you.
Nikki Glazer. I mean, I y I mean, Betty White, Joan Rivers, Carol Burnett.
Well, this was of the 21st century, so I'm not sure some of them would
Oh,
count, but
okay, 21st century, okay, but, yeah, Kathy Griffin, uh, um, oh my gosh, all the comedians on SNL,
yeah, but
like,
but you were but it was you that was there, and it does seem like you have a little bit of trouble, accepting that, or there's some part of your personality that doesn't wanna believe it.
Oh, no, I retweeted it. You
Okay,
won't
just to be clear.
oh my god, to be clear, the propaganda has been, um, reposted, but also, yeah, I think that yeah, I mean, you look at history of any art form or anything really, um, there'll be the stars of that historical moment, and then, it's like, "Oh, Van Gogh, who didn't sell a
Yeah.
thing. He's the best."
Mhm.
It's like, What?" Like,
Yeah.
yeah, and that kinda stuff, I don't know if the yeah, I think it's probably self-protective too, is I go, and I wanna be respectful to other comedians,
Mhm.
like, that's fucking ridiculous. Like, that my friend Jackie Cation is so fucking
Yeah.
funny. Like, she should be number 1 overall for all
Yeah.
centuries, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's just for whatever reason, uh, that yes, some people are recognized. I mean, well, and privilege.
Mhm.
I was a tiny blonde, attractive lady in a conventional way, boring, thin. Um, but that I'm sure has gotten me very far in life in a really sad and depressing way when you think about it.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I think there are just so many elements that are in there that are not uh, fair.
Yeah. When you were talking about being at Sundance and going bird watching and looking for celebrities, it made me wonder if you feel like a celebrity in some way, and did you set out to be a famous person? Do you feel like that played into why you got into comedy at all?
Oh,
Yeah.
of course, attention. John Mulaney's special I really like where he's like, I'm a drug addict, alcoholic, and I stopped using those. I guess I'm okay now, but what will I need more of? Attention."
You could relate to that?
I love positive attention, obviously, or not obviously. Some people do like to kind of
Yeah. Any
mix it up.
attention will do. I can think of, someone in our culture who's like that.
Yeah, any attention will do. Some people are into that. Yeah.
You've always been so transparent about money in a really interesting way, and you sort of love talking about it. In the film, we learn that you say you basically don't need to work anymore, that you have enough money that you could stop performing. So I was curious, what keeps you getting up? What keeps you going up in small rooms and performing comedy one-on-one to people in cafes and all the things that you do? What do you feel like keeps you going if it's not, this need to make money through your art?
Yeah, and to live in Los Angeles, I do have to keep working. Like,
That was maybe an overstatement?
yeah, that was a bit of an overstatement, but I could definitely go somewhere else,
Mhm.
less expensive, and live out my life as a Raj, as a queen. Um, but I love California. It's beautiful. I love the excitement of show business.
Mhm.
I love I love like the meaning and shape of creating something of like you work on something for years and then it's this end result for me that can be a special or an album and yeah just the satisfaction of completing something um and I like making money, it's just fun. And the more money I make, I can also give that away. So I feel like earning is a way to, you know, um I have a joke where I say I give 11% of my income away, which is true, uh, to charity. And oh my God, I get so obsessed with like I keep thinking, should I explain to people exactly what that 11% is? Because I don't give 11% off the gross.
Right,
I
yeah.
give 11% off the net, but then I also include, I mean, I get so deep in the weeds of what 11% is. Um, and nobody cares. Nobody cares.
I wasn't sure if also when you said that you no longer have to work in the film, if that was before the Altadena fire, which I don't think you actually lost your home, but I'm sure you lost a lot, as did so many people in that neighborhood. Um, I believe, as you say in the film, some Trump supporting racist neighbors actually saved your home. Is that true?
Yeah, yes. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Yeah, they were awful people, not pleasant. Well, they were pretty pleasant to us because we were of the right shade of peach.
Ah, yes.
But, yeah,
That gave you some conflicted feelings.
conflicting feelings, but I was we're grateful, because Scott had house paintings in there, and that would have been really sad, yeah,
Yeah.
to lose those.
I know you grew up in Minnesota in Duluth, so it does feel odd to not at least touch on, everything that's happening in your home state. How are you feeling as a, native Minnesotan watching what's happening in your where you grew up?
Well, feel super proud. I feel very like I'm not a religious person, but I really admire what clergy people have been doing, like the singing and the like that vibe, bringing that to a protest
Mhm.
is really, yeah, inspiring and also to acknowledge, I guess the sad thing that people are up in arms so much because it is a mostly like the people who are all protesting are white
Yeah.
for the most part. It's like what two people have been shot, and it's like yeah, millions of people have been shot
Yeah.
who are of color. And
Mhm.
nobody
Yeah.
said boo. So uh, yeah, that. But yeah, I'm proud to be from there. It's funny to me how the federal government has underestimated Minnesota. Not only Minnesota, but they said the next place they're going to besides, Maine is Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Oh my
That's not gonna
Christ.
go well.
Like, that's gonna be a civil
Yeah.
war. Like, I mean, those guys burn cars when they win the World Series. Like,
So before we get out of here, Maria, I have a few more questions for you. One is sort of looking back on your career, is there something that you said no to at the time that you wish you could go back and say yes to?
no,
No.
I'm good. Good.
You said no to all the right things?
There was a meeting, I think I could have had a, meeting for Bridesmaids,
Oh,
and I fucking love that movie, and it was
yeah.
perfect.
You don't need to be in it.
I wouldn't have wanted to be in it, and also that is the thing about film is, like, it's long hours, it's like
Yeah.
16-hour days, that's not my wheelhouse,
Yeah.
so I'm just grateful I didn't make it to that
Did
audition.
you talk to Judd about that, this time?
Oh, no, no, yeah. People I mean, if I haven't told someone my energy levels, then they don't know me very well.
The flip side of that question is always, is there anything you wish you could go back and say no to? And one that it comes to mind from the film is the Target campaign, which you became very well known for, but kind of went sideways. Do you feel like you would do that again if you could?
Yeah, I would do it again because it was really fun, and that brand from my childhood was very and which has been makes it so sad. Like, I mean, that was something I like, something we really loved as a family, and I loved their DEI hiring,
Hmm.
they when they were much more inclusive
Yeah.
was really lovely, so I was very proud, and also the creative process with, Wyden and Kennedy was the, um,
The agency. Yeah.
maker of those ads. Yeah, that was so fun and helped me buy a house.
Yeah.
So,
So can't regret that, I guess.
can't regret that.
But then, yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, you ended up kind of speaking out against their labor practices, and they
Yes.
were not too happy about that.
Yeah, of course, and I've amended my behavior and that I no longer, I will not, advertise anything because I cannot be trusted.
Okay, that's a good message to anyone who's looking to hire you for advertisements.
Do
Don't.
not, do not put words in my mouth. I will betray you.
Um, Maria, we have a segment on this podcast called Unmissable, where we talk about the whatever's happening in pop culture that just, can't be missed. Is there one thing that you've made if people could watch one thing that you've made, what do you think it should be? What's the one thing that you would recommend of your own work?
Oh, well, I think the Maria Bamford show is a classic.
Mhm.
I mean, it's on YouTube, it's
Yeah.
free, and yeah, I'm very proud of that. I don't think I'll ever be able to outdo it. So good. That was made with, yeah, it was just such a I'm very proud.
Is there anything in your career that you think should be missed?
Oh my yes. Anyone who saw me at Harrah's on the Strip in 2000, apologies all around. I think I began to cry halfway through my set.
Oh, no.
I got teary-eyed, and this guy goes, "You're doing okay." And that's when I realized I am not doing okay. I had one more show left because they have 3 shows a night in Vegas, which is monstrous.
Have you avoided Vegas since then?
Yes, I think I tried it one more time. The Strip, especially. There's a club outside, like one that residents go to called Wise Guys. I've done that room, and that's fine because then people know what they've come to see. But the Strip is people who are depressed. They have a free pass for the comedy. They're already mad because they didn't get to go see whatever it was they really wanted to see, and they would like to hear something uh, palatable.
Yeah,
I unfortunately, all my jokes about Vegas are very dark and
turns out.
mention the sex industry
Yeah.
uh, ad nauseum.
Is there a story from your career that makes you laugh now, but really was not funny when it happened?
Yeah. Well, I mean, all the ones where it's like you're sent home, like you're so
Yeah.
bad, like they just send you home. Like I got sent home from Tempe, Arizona. They're just like, yeah, you gotta leave tonight. Like we can't even have you stay in the condo.
Oh my god.
You disgust us.
Do you think that this documentary, is bringing new attention to you? Do you think it might lead to anything, like a special on a bigger platform or, anything like that? Are you trying to do anything like that coming up?
To leverage. I have no idea. I think I'm just gonna be happy that Judd Apatow made a documentary about me.
That's good enough.
Like, oh my god. Yeah, I can slip on a banana peel and be grateful for the rest of my life. Thank you. Yeah, no, I'm good.
Well, Maria, thank you so much for doing this. As I said, I'm a huge fan of your comedy. I'm so excited to see you at SF Sketchfest.
Thank
And
you.
the movie is beautiful as well, so I hope people get to check it out.
Oh, thanks. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Thank you. It's been fun.
Thank you so much, Nick. I'll see you back in New York. And thank you to Maria for talking to us about your Sundance film. What do you think? What Sundance movie are you looking forward to seeing? How much of a fan are you of Maria's stand-up comedy? Let us know in the comments. We love to hear from you. And don't forget, subscribe to us on YouTube at The Obsessed channel. Follow us wherever you get your podcasts. And if you want to hear more from me, follow me on Substack at obsessed.substack.com. Thank you to our producers, Devin Rogerino and Rachel Passer. Stay warm, stay strong, and thank you.